Welcome back. We start off by just destroying some dirt because I figured out that um, it was not big enough because I wanted more room in there. So I'm expanding it one back, but this is basically where the villagers are going to stand. And then where the old farthest one, that's going to be the where the workstations will be. And that's going to be very important because it can fit a lot actually. I just do the other side, and it's gonna take a while, but it won't. It's gonna look very nice at the end. I can assure you. And I accidentally break the wrong block, but doesn't really matter. Checking to make sure it doesn't go dark at the time I'm done doing this. I just head back, and then I come back the next morning, just finish off the job and just pick up the dirt that I left. This is probably the worst part about it, but after this, we're gonna just put in the stone bricks. Then the floor will be done, essentially. However, first I have to go to the nether to get some more crimson stems, because the other part of it is going to be I need a lot of crimson wood, because in my opinion, it works well with basalt. I could go with warped, but I felt like red would go a lot better than the blue. I also kind of want to use warped wood for other things because it looks a lot better than red, in my opinion. Because red, you have a very limited option, mostly because of the fact that it really ties in with the nether, and I haven't really planned on making another build yet. Yeah, and then just look around for another tree. Go up here, cut some more down. And we need this mostly for crimson fences, trapdoors, doors. It's pretty quick. I would probably say I think I needed about a stack or a stack and a half of crimson wood or crimson stems. They weren't that hard to get because it's a lot more accessible for me to get crimson than warped. And this is basically what the crimson things are for, was to hold the villagers in place. And each one's like that. And overall, again, the purplish magenta, I guess, somewhat color of the crimson fences really helped with the basalt, I would say. Which overall, I really like the look of this. And I really just built this freehand as I get stuck in the trench for like the 30th time. But I really like the look of the basalt mixed with the crimson stems. It felt really nice. I now make some crimson trapdoors. And I think this is probably one of the best looking parts of the entire trading hall. I get fall into this one now. Right now they're becoming a lot more of a nuisance than actually help and defend the villagers. Um, but doesn't it's never too hard. So basically, the trapdoors go in between the I guess what would you call them? They weren't beams because they're not. I guess beams. The crimson plank beams. They go in between each row, and it really helps with depth in the ceiling, and also lets in some um, light, I guess. And you can see this sky, which makes it look really cool. And then I just build it too high, so um, villagers are locked in there and they can't hop over to the other side, which really makes it look a bit better, I would say. Looks a bit more like they're in a cell, but that doesn't really matter because it makes it look a lot better. So I think and then I place these blocks here. This will act as a block that I can place a vertical basalt block on, which is these dirt blocks are temporary because it just looks a lot better. I spend a lot of time on this part, and we're just going to make a lot polished basalt, and this is where the genius part starts to happen. So we place the basalt blocks on the side of the dirt blocks, which makes them horizontal. And we give each opening a block. And I accidentally placed that one too soon, but just going to place them all like that. And it really it really starts to look nice there because of the down part. So basically, then I plan on doing that, putting it vertically like that on all sections of it, as the villagers will be trapped inside of there. Unfortunately, then I break the dirt blocks because I no longer need them. Because that was the only purpose of it, and also there will be crimson trap doors placed on these vertical basalt blocks, which serve two purposes, I guess, to add some red on the inside, and also to prevent villagers from hopping over the parts. So just make sure everything looks nice, which it does. We're now just gonna we're just gonna place the actual stone bricks down next. And it's really just gonna make the whole entire thing look much nicer. I debated on switching out the ones in the front for crackstone bricks. However, you wouldn't be able to see them anyway, so I was like, why waste lava buckets to make something that no one's ever going to see? And no one's really going to see that block either. And the floor just looks really nice. And I guess no one's actually going to end up seeing the other blocks either. But and I look up and it just makes it look really nice. And so that's what the trapdoor. It looks really nice, vertical. It just adds a bit of color, nothing really special. But yeah, this is the trapdoors are probably the most expensive part of this whole entire thing. Because they're not cheap off the bat to begin with. Because to get like this 8 or whatever, you basically need to get 4 for this. So you need like 24 ones. So basically, we're just going to put 4 blacksmith tables down, and this starts the thing of trying to get them all decked out as much as I possibly can. As hopefully I could migrate from the current villagers in the dirt hut to those in the this villager trading hall, which probably can be expanded. And I decided to put a door on it just to conceal it, and it also will make it look a lot better as an actual building instead of just being like a elongated tent. And this part also has like the downward section or whatever on it, which again makes it so that like the crimson beams are actually like beams instead of just having a big box. I tried to add a bit more I guess definition or whatever you call it. And of course, due to this addition, I made a crimson door, so I needed more crimson. So that I could make it, because this whole thing took a lot of crimson, but so essentially what happened, and then we place another one there, so it actually kind of adds on to the beam, I guess, but overall it looks really nice. And then to cap it off, we're gonna put I guess a slab underneath the middle block, like so, and that will just give it a bit of a thing. And then we put a crimson door there, and that looks really nice. And it closes it off really nicely, and nobody can get through it, and you just have a bit of a hole, but it helps the definition again. And we have, I think, roughly around 25 villagers in this thing, and here I'm counting to see how many more trapdoors I need. And I've gotten those trapdoors. Yes, it's kind of hard to imagine why I would do this, because they were so expensive to deal with, but I had time, and it really just helped the look. I know it looks a bit dark in there, but that's probably just because my brightness levels were pretty low. And now we just start filling in the workstations, much as I possibly can. And I put these down because when I'm putting the villagers here, I'm going to build a column of basalt up. And these will be so the fact that I can build them up. So really, I'm just using the dirt as scaffolding at this point. Just make sure it works fine. And I can't jump over anything, so that's good. I'm using rails to transport the villagers, which is going to make it really, really easy. Unfortunately, I did test this out multiple times, and you cannot break a villager or cannot break a minecart in a 1x1 space. The villager is going to be ejected from the space. And so this became rather costly in the terms of iron, because I had to make a minecart for every single villager. So this is our first villager we're going to push in. and we basically just keep them there. Unfortunately, this one escaped because this was the first version of it, and this is me trying to breed a new one. So I found a quicker way of doing this later on, but so we try this again, and to prepare for whatever, I end up placing rails down because I figured out that they have to be on rails basically. So overall is pretty good. I tried to get some more emeralds. My carrots, which I still have a fair number of. So I'm still using beetroot mostly to breed villagers. And I break a bookshelf because I'm going to make lecterns, which you need a bookshelf to make lecterns. And you really just can't have enough lecterns. They're really, really good. Because once you have lecterns, you don't really need an enchanting table. Because there's just way too much risk, I would say, in it. And so we craft some oak slabs. I accidentally put that in the wrong area. Place a top 3, then take my bookshelf, put it on, get the lectern, and we're just gonna end up placing it in every opening space. When it comes to the workstations, I tried to put at least two of each type in there. I'm only putting one loon and one fletching table because I didn't have room. Probably could have made it if I didn't put 2 or 3 cartographer tables, but then we just hop up, do this. So what happened is I had to add a second fence part because I went into creative and zombies could attack the villagers through the one, so I had added 2, but all in all it still looked the same basically because I was always planning on putting these basalt pillars here in the first place. And this is just the final touches to it. Just make it square instead of having a down thing and having the having like a staircase or the pillars being just not a part of the build, and this made it look a lot more like they were part of the build. It made it look a bit more flat. Adding on to this, I still haven't been able to get a fletching table or a loon because I either don't have string or I don't currently have access to flint. I could try to dig a thing down to the lava floor or whatever where gravel spawns in the nether and get some there. So that's probably going to be a thing I have to work on soon, but this took a really long time to get, and it's very fun to have finished it all. None of them are really upgraded except for like the first three villagers, which were all blacksmiths, and I think 2 toolsmiths have a bit. But we make a path to it instead of just having grass. Just boring. And it'll be the same design as the other paths with cobblestone and glowstone, which just lights it up a bit, so you don't have mobs spawning on it, which just is quality of life improvement. But it's basically, I did the same pattern design that I did with the floor in the villager trading hall, which was about 2 and then 1. That only got 1, but it still looked fine at the end. But yeah, that's basically it. Have a nice day.